Chair Williams and members of the committee, thank you for allowing me time to offer perspective and context on HB 754. I'm Chaplain Dahron Annalise Johnson, a 22-year resident of Davidson County. Though it might surprise you to hear me say it, if HB 754 served to make sure people actually get the care they need, as the little story about this bill has been spun so far, then we'd find ourselves in a place of broad agreement. People should be able to access and insurance should cover the health care that they and their providers feel will best benefit them. A lovely vision I only wish were true. But you know, if wishes were horses, then beggars would ride, and this bill begs a lot of questions. For starters, it requires insurers and providers to hand over a broad and invasive set of health care specifics, not for billing, but for inspection and interrogation. Why this information? What statewide problems get fixed by snooping into the conversations I've had with my doctors, by scrounging through my healthcare history and therapy visits? What public crisis gets solved by knowing the dates of my medical care, my prescriptions, how often and how long I'll be taking them, even what form they come in? I'll note that while the bill states neither insurers nor providers shall include individually identifiable health information, that doesn't begin to solve its problems. This makes the third year now I've been following this legislation around, and I will underscore again that this bill presents a slew of HIPAA concerns, requiring the collection of numerous elements of IIHI as defined in 45 CFR 160. An example, this bill mandates the Department of Health compile a generalized report of all the details now required from insurers and providers. Remember, though, the definition of individually identifiable health information in the CFR includes not just that information by which one can be directly identified, but also that information, quote, from which it is reasonable to believe one can be identified, end of quote. Pair the small population under the bill's surveillance with, say, the fact some proportion of them will live in low-density areas, and very quickly identification, even from abstract data, becomes very reasonable to believe indeed. You'll notice we've moved from a high-minded story about assuring people get care to details about how this bill targets specific groups and risks identifying individual people, creating state-held registries of both providers and patients. That's what is actually at the heart of this bill. Its list-making and surveillance are what it's really about.